Hi guys, Divine Raver here, and today I just wanted to show you a quick tutorial on the self-braid technique. I've seen a lot of starting whip artists out there kind of braid their whip like you would braid human hair. And although this does do a quick, clean kind of look with your whip, it can also potentially break your fibers. So I found one other technique that I found a little bit more helpful and didn't hurt my whip as much. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So for demo purposes, I'm just going to use a pixel whip by Fiberflies. However, you can definitely use any kind of whip, like the Glow FX or other brand names out there. This will work for all of them. So basically what you want to do is you want to figure out how many groupings you want. Usually I do 2 or 3. And if you have a thicker whip, of course you can do more than that. It's your call. You do want to make sure that you do your normal whip care, as in making sure to comb out any kind of knots or anything in your whip, as well as remove hair, grease it, clean it, the whole 9 yards. If you do a self-braid technique with any of that gunk inside of your whip or potentially tangled, then you're going to have a little bit more of like knotting occur with it, which can again tangle and damage the whip. So after everything's been combed out and you want to separate your groupings, I'm going to do 3 just because that's my preference. I'm going to separate them. Maybe just pull this one out really quick. Be very gentle though if you do pull the fibers apart because they can break easy. So after everything's nice, greasy, clean, and you got your groups, what you're going to want to do is it's easier to have the handle facing away from you when you do this. Grab one of your groups, and what you're going to do is you're going to curl the whip going the same direction as how the whip would naturally curl. This is just going to wrap the fibers around each other, and after a couple times of doing this, you're going to end up with this really nice, fantastic, tight curl. And you see how these ones are kind of loose compared to this one being all tight? That's because of the self-braiding and the fibers just kind of naturally going around themselves. So then you just do the other tails the way you want to. As many times as you want to curl it. Of course, the more times you curl it, the tighter it will be and the more it'll remain in a self-braid. If you don't wrap it enough times, then your self-braid can become undone. The more that you do this to your whip, the more that you're kind of training your whip as well, so it'll look cleaner and better over time. And of course, greasing your whip can help keep the fibers together too, but you don't want to overdo it because then it can glob together. So then you have your 3 tails, and this one kind of needs to be wrapped again, which I went the opposite way. So the nice thing about a self-braid technique is that at any time, if you wanted to during your show, you can actually pull your whip apart. So you can add like extra textures or even change the show completely midway. So that's why I really love the self-braid technique, plus my whip doesn't break down as much. So again, that was the self-braiding technique, and I'm Divine Raver. You can find me on Facebook /Divine Raver or Instagram @Divine Raver.